Alrighty. Hey guys, how we doing? Wanted to start off by congratulating the university and Max Nikias for Wall Street Journal's educational rankings come out today, and USC is ranked 15th. That's one of two Pac-12 schools that are in the top 15. So credit to Max and everything that's going on here with the faculty that's being brought into the university as well as the research facilities. Unbelievable job by our president. Today really focused on two things that are a really big concern moving into this game. You know, after watching even more film, I'm beyond impressed with Manny Wilkins and his pocket sense of being able to create off pass attempts. You look at his 13 plus running attempts, a lot of them come from drop back pass opportunities where he's finding windows of opportunity, keeping his eyes downfield, but also creating yards with his legs. He's as good as I've seen thus far that we've played in that area. The other situation of primary concern for us offensively is the pressure situations. We worked hard today. This is one of the better pressure groups that will play, very similar to what you taught to us last week. It's something that we really did a primary focus on, and I would expect them to go after a young quarterback with that. Injury-wise, held Zach for one more day. He got a little bit of ERT, as you saw, warmed up, got a lather over there. I would expect him back tomorrow, and we'll see where he's at, but really expecting him to be back tomorrow ready to go. And Jack was a lot closer than I thought today. He's got a chance. He did a little bit of warming up. He got a little bit of a lather over there, and should be close to being back tomorrow. Today's practice, Khalil got a little bit of a wrist. I don't think it's going to be a problem. Khalil Rogers, and then Dominic Davis got a little bit of a knee. I don't see him being an issue. With that, I'll answer any questions that you got.
How have you felt about?
I'd go grab two.
How have you felt about the pressure that you guys have been generating on the defensive front?
You know, it's one of those things I thought last game. I know Clancy's making a big sense of urgency of getting to the quarterback. You know, I think last game, obviously, with the number of plays that we played on defense at the end of the game, you could see the wearing down of our defensive front, especially in those passing situations at the end. I know Clancy's put a huge sense of urgency on it, both in our four-man rush and our pressure situation. So I look forward to seeing it Saturday. I know there's a lot of investment going into it over the last 2 days.
Have you had any communication with Coach O since he took over at LSU?
No, you know, I text. I know he's awful busy, and anytime that you take one of those situations over, you know, I think it's. I think you're extremely busy trying to do it your way. He's going to do a tremendous job at it. Did it while he was here too. Great man, great coach, and I know he'll do great things for LSU.
With Juju, it looked like against Utah there was only a couple shots when you could get him open deep. Is that kind of is there ways that you could, because I think like out of the 9 targets, like eight were either short or kind of medium. Are there ways that you could open him up deep when guys are bracketing him, when he's being bracketed like that?
I think we've had some opportunities to be able to get him the ball downfield over the last couple games, and we finally caught some man-to-man coverage. And like I've said, when you're running the ball for 200 yards plus, you're going to get man-to-man, and we did, and we took that opportunity. The thing where I thought he did a nice job of were some of the third down situations that you saw with some of the deeper dig routes that came available on third down. So I was happy. I mean, anytime that you go 100 yards worth of catches, 8 catches, I hope that continues, but we're always looking to push the ball downfield, and I know that's one thing Sam does a good job of, is he likes to push that ball downfield.
Were there more? Did you see more opportunities? Because it seemed like most of the targets against Utah, he had the one like 35-yarder on the long one, but most of them were. I know he said the hitches were open a lot.
Yeah,
a lot of the hitches, shorter routes.
A lot of times when you're playing cover 3, and we've seen it, when you see the cover 3, what do the corners do? They're bailing the deep thirds. So a lot of our routes can go to 6 yards, 10 yards, and take the easy money. You don't want to force anything, and then make the most of your one-on-one opportunities. We caught a one-on-one situation. Actually, Daniel was open on the other side just as much, Daniel Mortabebe, but he picked Juju, and I thought made a nice play. There's few and far between. When you're Juju Smith, you got to make the most of each opportunity as a quarterback and as a receiver.
Do you feel like explosive plays have been an issue for you guys the first 4 games?
I thought last week, if you look at the chunks last game, I thought it was in a lot better. The problem was some of those chunks ended up being fumbles. You know, all of a sudden we split a run for over 20 yards and it's a fumble. Then we go to another run for 20 yards and it's a fumble. You know, so some of those explosive plays kind of got us. But I thought last game was our best game. Really, Scott, that's a good question. I thought last game was by far our best game as far as moving the ball in chunks.
Clancy doesn't like to play anybody unless they're absolutely ready to go out there.
Yeah.
Have you talked to him about, are there more guys ready to?
Yeah, you know, we visited, and Clancy's, I mean, as experienced a coach as there is, and he's even mentioned to me, he's like, Coach, you know, we get in that type of game situation again where you face an 80-plus plays, we're going to have to steal a series or two with some young kids. You know, a Connor Murphy's going to have to be out there, Jordan Iosefa, John Houston. You know, those type of guys are going to have to step up. Buda Tucker. You know, we're going to have to try to steal, you know, maybe 6 plays a half to be able to rest a couple guys. So he's mentioned that. We have discussed it, and you know, those kids are getting ready or close to ready, and we're going to have to count on them to do their job.
He says that the depth feels no better today than when he was here last time.
I think in the defensive front right now we're thin. We're thin, and that's about where it was when he was here. Defensive back wise, you know, you look at us. I think we're a solid 2 deep. The linebackers wise, we've got some youth behind it, but a solid 2 deep. Right now, you can feel the front. Just as a coach, you can feel it. I would agree with you.
Is that because you couldn't get guys you wanted in the past?
No, you look up and you have some injuries. I mean, you have Noah out. You lost another D lineman in the spring in Kenny. You lose some guys that you were really counting on to make a huge difference, and they're not there. You know, those 2 bodies alone right there are vet players that can help you.
Let's do one more.
How many carries would you like to see Justin Davis have? Because obviously he was hot against Utah.
Yeah. I would, you know, I love the balance of the game. If I had to err, I would love to err towards a run game, as we all know. You know, I'd love for Justin to get somewhere between 20 and 25 touches a game. That would be ideal situation. I think that's perfect for him, whether those are runs or passes out of the backfield. But he's capable of more. He's a vet back.
Are you thinking at all about maybe mixing up the rotation, because last week you weren't able to get him in as much maybe as you would have liked?
Yeah, you know, I wish hindsight's always 20/20, Scott. As you look at it, if I would have known there was only 3 possessions in the second half, you know, you probably have Justin in there a little bit more, you know. But hindsight's 20/20. We've got 3 really talented backs on this team right now. One that I'm ready to explode in Ronald Jones, and one that's really playing good football right now in Justin Davis, and Sed Ware's coming on also. So I know Justin will continue being the solid player that he is. All righty, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.